Welcome to Pottorff's Behind the Blades, Not a Podcast. In this episode, we're tackling one of the most common and most expensive field issues we hear about, louvers getting installed upside down or backwards. And it happens more than you'd think, even with experienced crews, and it can lead to water getting where it shouldn't, performance problems, and rework. I'm Stephenie Ravenscroft, and joining me is Josh Parent, and today we have a special guest to help us get it right the first time, Brent Farmer. Josh, take it away.
Hello, everybody. With me today is one of our amazing application engineers, Brent Farmer. Brent's been with Pottorff for about 10 years. Hi, Brent.
Hi, Josh.
We're going to talk a little bit today about louver installation. So first off, we get a ton of questions on louver installation. I come from the test side of this industry. I've seen really seasoned lab technicians that test these all day, every day, install them wrong, upside down, front to back, sideways, anything you can think of. Brent, can you walk us through what is basically a simple louver installation and how we know if it's installed correctly?
Yeah, that's a good question, Josh. So we can look at it right here. So a good way to see it is probably to ask yourself, how would this louver drain water away from a building? So in front of us, the blades are meant to keep water out. So essentially, you can see that the blade should be pushing water away from the opening of the building. It is considered the outside here, rather than towards it. So if this blade is going to be angled the other way that we're looking at, it would probably be pulling water in from the building. It would be bringing it right in.
Sure.
One other caveat that we're not seeing right here is maybe a vertical blade louver, where the blades are going to be running up and down. That is probably going to still have what your drip up top, like you can see here running along the head of the louver. But the water is going to funnel down, and the point is, most of those louvers are going to have probably some slots down in the sill that's going to allow water to run out.
Awesome.
So that way you would know the drip goes on top. Any of the holes coming out on the sill are going to be on the bottom. Of course, you can always find the model that you're trying to install. Go to our website and pull up the catalog page, and that'll have a good view of the outside of the louver itself.
Outstanding. Does every louver have a drainable head?
At this point, yes, I think that's becoming more common in the industry.
Okay.
If it may not have it, and some of them may look slightly different, they may be more integral, but they will help catch water coming off.
Awesome. So another thing we hear all the time is, you have an intake consideration and an exhaust consideration. Is the louver installed differently for those two applications?
So yes, there is a difference between the two. Again, since the louvers are not built symmetrically, so again, it's meant to keep water out. The air is going to act differently when you're pushing air out on an exhaust side or bringing air in the intake. One thing, like we can look at this louver right here, sometimes those intake and exhaust values, they're going to seem almost minimal, the difference between the two, but there is a slight difference. And then there are some louvers that difference is greater. So it does have a bearing on what you want.
But so it's safe to say that when you're installing louvers, always have your water protective features towards the front or towards the exterior of the building. Is that accurate?
That's an accurate statement. Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Anything else we should consider?
Yeah, one other thing to help you think with, like you just said, as far as having that which was facing on the exterior, if you need to know which is the face of the louver, say that exterior, the front side versus the back side. Sometimes our louvers come with accessories from the factory. Some of these accessories, think like bird screen or insect screen. We might have an air filter on the back or a rack that could hold an air filter, maybe even burglar bars. Many of those are going to be mounted on the back side. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be on the inside of the building. So that would be a tell. And there are some accessories that come factory mounted that might actually be around the outside of the frame. And that could be like a flange frame that's going to stick out further up top. It could be a small glazing frame that you're going to mount into a windows for like the mullions for a curtain wall. And all of those are going to be, as again, like I said, they're on the outside, but they're going to be, or on their frame, but they're going to be on showing you that that's the outside of the louver.
Awesome.
So
very good. Thank you, Brent. Quick tidbits from Pottorff. Join us later for more Behind the Blades.
Here's the bottom line and the conclusion to this episode. The easiest way to confirm a louver is right side up is to think about water management. The blades should shed water away from the opening, and the seal needs a clear path to drain. For vertical blade louvers, look for details like the drip edge at the top and the drainage slots at the seal. We also covered that intake versus exhaust isn't interchangeable. Louvers are designed for a specific airflow direction, and installing them the wrong way can change performance, sometimes dramatically, especially with wind-driven rain models. And finally, a practical double check. Accessories like screens, blink-off panels, and filter racks are typically on the back or the building side, while certain frame options like flanges are usually intended for the front. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at www.pottorff.com. A special thanks to Brent for sharing this information, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Behind the Blades.